Hey guys, welcome back to another one. It's the other guy, and this is another episode talking about how you should be able to project that you are a guy of a high caliber in order to match your looks. I say a lot of guys, they might look the part, but they don't act the part, and I realize that's a lot of men struggle, right? But let's go ahead and get started on this one, right? She wants to like you, right? And she wants that what she perceives of you to be true. There's this whole thing, right? And men do this too, where we build up a persona of what the person that we like, of what they're like, and what they would be like being with in a relationship. So you know how you might like a girl and you take too long to talk to her, so you think about her so much to where she's always on your mind. You start daydreaming, you start fantasizing situations, moments where you're actually in her face, chopping it up, how good the conversation might be going right in your head. And in reality, you're really making yourself so scared, and you're prolonging the action of you taking the initiative to make the move. Guys, women do that too, but here's the difference. When we do it, right, for guys that do approach, that do like approaching, it's best to go get it off right away so you don't build that up. The thing with a woman, they like that delusion, they like that fantasy, and they want to stay in that because they'd rather stay in that than know the truth. And the truth could either mean he's gonna reject me or he already likes me. See, it's always good to keep a balance, a proper medium. And the medium is more so of the fact that, hey, maybe I do have an interest, but at the same time, I have a lot going on, right? And we can take our time on things. That's a proper medium to women. That's the area where they want to be in. It's a state of limbo, right? It's like you're in between spaces where they're deluded into having that area where they could freely think of you and perceive you to whatever they want to be of you, right? Whatever expectations that they might have in their head, right? But at the same time, it's enough convo and talks to not, have them feel like you're disinterested or not interested at all. That's the limbo. That's the deluded area that they must have. And this area, this delusion, is something that they yearn for even while being in a relationship. You know why people say it's always good to be a mystery? It's always good to, be busy, have something going on, and what they say, quote unquote, have her wondering about you. That's what they mean, right? Is to be able to feed the delulu, right? That's going on. Women don't really like guys that like them back. And I know that y'all been, and this is initially. This is not in a relationship. This is not, you're ready to propose, long-term relationship. No, I'm talking about initially. They don't really like guys that like them back, right? It's a turn off to them. It's to turn off to them, and we cannot see it. Why? Because we like women for different reasons of why women like us. That's just being real. Women like to know that you're centered in your life. You're centered in your life. And when a woman realizes that she could grab your attention so easy, she looks at the potentials of how other women might, how far other women could get with you, how easy you are with other women. That's why when you emit thirsty energy, they're turned off, because other women can get you thirsty. It's not the fact that they're against sex, or against intercourse of any sort and aren't, they might even be attracted to you, right? But it's not that they are against sex. It's more so that you're easily accessible to other women. You're not a prize, right? When you let off that, hey, you could just come up and talk to me, or hey, I could take bait. That's why sometimes women will throw stuff out there as cues. Like they might be like, you're cute or whatever the case is. And it ain't healthy to just jump the gun and be like, hey, like, want to go out? Because partially, like, in that woman's head, she's going to look at you like, yo, you too easy. Like, that was it. That's all I had to do. When in reality, she wanted to play, you feel me, that rat catching the cheese type shit. You see what I'm saying? She wanted it to be exciting, and she wanted to chase. She wanted it to be a journey. She wanted it to be, you feel me, everything that she'd ever imagined, right? The tale, the love story. This is why, like I said, I'm in a relationship, but this is why I didn't like cold approaching. Because when you cold approach, that whole process, even though like it has worked for me in the past, there was a time where I was in class and I didn't realize it, but those large classrooms, I was in class and there's a woman that, piqued my interest. And I'm like, oh shit, like I gotta talk to her, So I was plotting, I'm like, okay, when I see her this time on this day, I'm gonna talk to her right after class. And don't do what I did, by the way. If you in school, don't cut your classes short to, be with a woman. But this is what I did. Fuck it, I can't tell you to do what I did. Just learn. You know what I'm saying? But she left class early that day when I was, wanting to talk to her outside the classroom. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to talk to her. So I left class early too. Right? And I went to go talk to her, and bro, we vibed. Where we was talking for the next 3 hours. You see what I'm saying? We vibed and we kicked it off. You see what I'm saying? So it can work in your favor that when you can show interest first, because in some cases, the woman not checking for you. Like I said, I realized the classroom was big as hell. She probably wasn't even checking. She probably even know I went to the class. And sometimes making your face, your personality, all that, put it in front of her, she would see that shit like, wow, okay, like he was in front of my face all along, or he was here all along. And sometimes you just really need to be presented. So in some cases, cold approaching will work in your favor, but this is why I don't do it. It's because in most scenarios, right, in life, outside of like you going to the market one time, or catching somebody, out on the street and you probably might not see them again, you're probably going to be dealing with people, right, that you see over and over again, at least twice a week, right? So you'd want to be able to gauge interest, right? Choosing signals, choosing signals, all those things, right? You want to be able to gauge all those things, right? And like I said, like, women kind of want to be able to feed into that delulu. They need that. They need to feel like you're on top of the world, right? And have that be right about you. This is why things like pre-selection help out so much. It's because it's like other people have positive reviews, right, of their experience with you, right? And it only makes her even more curious of wanting to talk to you more. This is why men that are married or men that are in relationships, right, it worked out for them and women are attracted to them. Why? Because one, they making somebody else happy. They making another woman happy, right? Women see that and they're attracted to that because it's like, wow, she looks happy, she's gorgeous, right? And she wants all her time with him. I wonder how special he is. I wonder how he makes her feel special. I want a piece of that. It's right there and there, then and there. It's right in front of my face, right? And he's doing it for other women, and I want him to do that for me as well. You see what I'm saying? That's what they latch onto. And another thing too, when you are in a relationship, you obviously don't have that energy like where you're just gonna get up and hop to any occasion, hop to any girl that sees that you're cute. You're not gonna do that because, you know, you're probably, if you're that kind of guy, I would assume that you're well grounded in your relationship. Meaning you got a woman that you love, you care for, and she loves you back. You see what I'm saying? She's, you know what I'm saying, she's happy to be with you. You're attached to her. So she wants to be with you, right? So you have a woman that has a high interest. That means your sights for other women, you're not gonna really be checking for other women like that. And you know, like I said, this is only assuming that you might be an attractive guy, you're not in a relationship. But the point I'm trying to get is you don't emit off thirsty energy, like where you're jumping to, you know, oh, she think I'm cute, oh, she think I'm fine, let me go ahead and hop up in there. You feel me? Nah. So when you're in a relationship or you're content, it doesn't even have to be in a relationship, you're just content with who you are. She's happy with the fact that you're not jumping, you know, you're not emitting that thirsty energy like you're starving. Because I used to do this in the past too, like where I would come off, I would even get the box, bro. Keep it a buck with you, I would even hit, right? But after the second time or third time hitting, I'm quickly in love, bro. I'm all in, bro. And she like, wait, what happened to that guy that I thought that was a catch? He making me feel like the catch. I don't like this. This don't feel good. And next thing you know now, she's like, well, I don't want to be pressured to be in a relationship, so I'm gonna cut things off. Or she ghosts you. That's why she perceives you as higher value than you do, right? And you failed to feed up until that Delulu. That's that Delulu she keeps chasing. That's why they be chasing guys that you might feel like don't want them back. You feel me? But yeah, I just had to put that out here real quick, man, to help y'all. There's a lot of guys out here, man, like I said, they got the key pieces. They well put together, but they don't understand what really gets a woman going and what keeps a woman interested for real. But yeah, man, y'all can like, comment, subscribe, and y'all be easy.